Well, I'm here.
I would find out.
Okay, let's see. We're going to call the Monday, February 9th edition of the Hermiston City Council and Urban Renewal Agency to order. Declaration of quorum. We have all members present. Would everybody please rise and join me on the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Your stuff on your side. Okay. Just finished our public infrastructure meeting, so trying to get stuff ready for y'all. Mr. Smith, do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
No changes. All right. So we're going to start off with our first opportunity for citizen input. Anyone wishing to bring anything before the council that is not already on the agenda is asked to please do the following. Limit your comments to not more than 5 minutes. State your name and place of residence and direct your comments to me. Do we have anybody that wants to speak? Step up. Welcome.
I think I know you, Doug.
We've met.
Yeah. Mary Ann Tangney. I live on the corner of Power Line and Bridge Road. Just a quick, there's been several accidents in that intersection there. And almost when I'm out a lot in the yard. And it seems like there's always near misses. There's all kinds of traffic that goes through there. It's hard to even get out of our driveway sometimes. So much traffic on the Bridge Road power line. And the road is deteriorating. I don't know how it can keep up with that amount of traffic.
Well, unfortunately, Power Line and Bridge belongs to the county.
I know, but isn't this to like redirect some of the traffic?
No, not, I mean, are you talking, what are you asking about? I
Well,
guess?
because the bridge would alleviate some of the traffic.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. Okay.
So what I'm saying is that power line now is the main way to get to across town, or bridge, or it goes Highland, then it turns into Bridge when you cross the bridge, and then it goes on to power line. That if the bridge was built, it would alleviate all that traffic, I believe, or part of the traffic on that road.
I'm picking that up now. All right.
Okay. All right. That's all
Thank
I
you.
have to say.
Any others? Seeing none. All right, moving on. Consent agenda items. We have items A, B, and C. Are there any council questions on items A, B, and C? Seeing none. Do we have any public comment on items A, B, and C? Seeing none. Council comments? Any need to remove any of the items? Seeing none, can I get a motion to accept council consent agenda items A through C?
Motion to accept. Second.
Okay, motion by Councilor Hayward. Seconded by Councilor McCarthy. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Motion passes unanimously. No items removed. Moving on. Okay, so we are on resolution 2406 in regards to the bridge at Pumpkin Center intergovernmental agreement. City Manager Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Morgan, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this evening you're considering Resolution 2406, which is to approve intergovernmental agreement with Umatilla County as well as the city of Umatilla. So specifically, the resolution is only pertaining to approval of the IGA with, again, the county and the city of Umatilla for supporting construction and design specifically of the Umatilla River Bridge. Additionally, it authorizes the mayor to submit a letter of support for federal grant funding application for the bridge design. Maybe? There we go. A little bit of background. So, a bridge to I-82 has been included in the Transportation System Plan since the 90s when we first had our first TSP. Since that time, we've shown two bridges. We've had we've had one bridge shown as extending what would be Pumpkin Center across to Powerline Road and I-82. We've also shown Elm Avenue extending across to Powerline Road and I-82. Beginning in around 2022, the city of Hermiston, along with Umatilla County and city of Hermiston, decided that if we were ever going to actually construct a bridge, we needed to get moving, and we couldn't continue to just have both of them as potential options. We needed to pick which one we would focus on first. And so we commissioned a study, a preliminary engineering report, and ultimately that preliminary engineering report recommends that the first bridge that we should focus on is the Pumpkin Center option. And so there was many components to that analysis, 400 plus page report looking at traffic coming from all different directions. And so looking at that, taking into account the upstream impacts, the downstream impacts on the entire transportation system, all the way from Umatilla through Hermiston to 395 and all the different impacts that it would have at different components, not just on the bridge itself. Total project cost for the Pumpkin Center option was around $44 million. Total cost for the Elm Avenue option was around $48 million. So the Pumpkin Center Bridge is a lower cost, but additionally, it just has a lot more positive impact in the sense that it's serving a lot more traffic needs as determined through the traffic analysis. But there's also just fewer negative downstream impacts, namely, with like the Elm Avenue option, it would basically be funneling even more traffic onto Elm Avenue and ultimately going through the Elm and 395 intersection, which is already at capacity or over capacity. So again, without getting too into the detail, generally speaking, we chose to focus on the Pumpkin Center Bridge first because it's lower cost, has more positive benefits and fewer negative impacts. So what we're asking for this evening with this IGA is just simply to go in with the city and Umatilla County on asking for grant funding for a federal build grant to fund a 30% design on the bridge. And so the difference between what we've done already, which is a preliminary engineering report, and a 30% design, is that the preliminary engineering report, again, that was mainly to identify high level, scope out what the projects would even entail, identify what the key challenges with that project would be, and then ascribe a pretty high level cost to that. So not getting into real detailed engineering analysis. The 30% design, that takes all of those aspects and actually begins to provide some real engineered effort to it. With the ultimate intention here being why we're specifically saying a 30% design, one that is able to be funded through a federal build grant, but two, if we were to actually pursue federal build funding for actual construction of a bridge, we would have to come in with a 30% design because, again, a lot of these more detailed questions that would come up in an actual construction application would be fully addressed, at least by that point, with a 30% design, or at least as well as you can expect when you're without having fully engineered plans. So that's what we're looking at with a 30% design versus what we have already. So next steps are to simply apply for this federal build grant to fund that 30% design effort, complete the 30% design effort, and then in the future, again, important to keep in mind, this IGA does not commit any of the partners, it explicitly states it, does not commit any of the partners to actually committing any funding for future construction. So once we get through the design and we begin to head toward actually seeking funding to construct something, that's when we would look at deciding what each partner's funding commitment would be or need to be for construction, which that'll certainly be a big discussion, but that's something that we'll have in the future when we get to that point, and then ultimately applying for construction grant funding. So with that, I'd stand for any questions.
All right, council questions.
It's not a question.
Okay, well, we'll get to the comments then.
Okay, I'll wait.
All right. Okay, public comment. We've already heard from Ms. Taney.
Good evening, council. My name is Tamara Mabott, and I live on Zimmer Lane, which intersects with Pumpkin Center, just outside the city limits, just north of the urban growth boundary. I know some of you. I've spent the last 35 years being a county planner, and I commend city council and staff for the city-county three-way agreement. That kind of collaboration gets large projects like this completed. What I'd like to do tonight is just encourage you to think about public involvement now, early in the process. It ends up with a better project, you get better public buy-in, and you can also, during that public involvement process, consider impacts to property owners. Clearly, there will be several private property owners that will be impacted by a future road, depending on the design, and lots of natural resources also. So I know you have lots of committees. I just sat through my first, what do you call it? Infrastructure committee. Very informative. Appreciate that. So I myself have been involved in some other long-range projects, and I think you have a much better income and outcome with a project when you include residents, both of the city and of the county. So some of those residents might not even know that this is underway, and we don't always read the newspaper or the legal notices. Again, my primary message is twofold. Commendable that you're working collaboratively with Umatilla and Umatilla County, but please consider early public involvement as you move forward with the process. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other public comment? Seeing none. Okay, council comments. Ms. Meyer, you're up.
Well, this is just by way of a little bit of history on this project. In the 90s, about maybe 97, 98, something along that line, we had a meeting in Washington, D.C. with the Department of Defense. Commissioner Doherty, Rod Hardin, Ed Brookshire and myself were there, and some pretty high-level Department of Defense people. And this was on their docket then. And Pumpkin Center was always the main focus of where they were going with this. And since then they've come up with a few other options, but yeah, that's just by way of history. It's not new to the game here.
Any other comments? Councilor Broom?
As has been mentioned in the public and through the city, I commend this project. I think it's decades of work coming into a front. It sounds like there's still a lot of work to do with even a 30% design. But I'm really encouraged that the city continues to look for partnerships and try to involve other agencies to help out in big projects like this. You know, I'm really excited for something like this to happen here soon, but as Councilor Meyer has mentioned, this is something that's going to take, it's going to take a while, and especially for $44 million. I'm assuming it's going to be a bit, but I appreciate the city already starting, putting its foot forward, trying to mention this out. To be a huge project. Once it comes to fruition, I can imagine. I think we've even talked about it in the last couple of years about even semi-truck traffic being an alleviation on that aspect. And so we're continuing to grow, and I think the growing pressure is kind of coming to a head with trying to find other alternative methods of transportation. So I'm excited for this. I think it's a big one for the city and for the area as well. I did want to mention that, or I guess was part of my questioning, but or one of my questions, but it kind of came up more in the comments when I thought of it, is maybe even participation from the CDA. I don't know if they'd be of interest in this project, but I believe that we mentioned that there might be some infrastructure that extends. I don't know if this is a street or if it's even further down south. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If that'd be another agency that just barely came online that might be interested in a project like this.
I agree with you. Ma'am? Yes.
I just wanted to say, I wanted to thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, for coming up, giving comments about that. And hopefully we will be able to involve the community and the people that actually live over in that area. I did drive down both Pumpkin Center and also Elm Street just to scope out the area. We have maps that we can look at, but I do better if I go there and look for myself. And also I want to thank City Manager Byron Smith. I called him up. I had a few questions, and he was able to answer the questions for me. So I just wanted to say thank you for that and appreciate because I like to make sure I make a very informed decision. And I see that this project has been talked about quite a few years, and now we really need to get it going if we're going to do it, because of the cost is really rising up, and we want to be able to save as much taxpayer money as we possibly can. Thank you.
Counselor Hayward?
I think this is a great, thank you, Mark, for putting this together. Explained it really good. I knew a little bit of this, like Jackie Meyer says, and Brown. I second what they said, but I do agree that we need to get the community more involved in this and just try and get them to at least be able to say their piece. So when it does happen, they're not upset. Say, hey, we've given you guys plenty of opportunities like this hearing and everything. I think it's a great thing to have the public have their say.
Any others? Okay, so, yeah. This project, if we're able to bring this forward even more, we're gonna be looking at, diminishing some of the traffic. One of the most dangerous intersections we have is in the eastern side of the state is right down here at Elm and 395. And so if we can get any traffic off of that at all is gonna make a big difference. So I think trying to find a way to move this forward, getting as many partners involved in this as we possibly can is going to be to our best interest. The CDA, I'll be real honest with you, I hadn't even considered that one. So that was good on you for thinking of that. Also the ports possibly. So any partners we can get involved in this that will benefit them, I think is going to be beneficial to the city. So okay, so now can I get a motion to adopt resolution 2406 and lay upon the record?
So moved. Second.
Okay, gonna give that one to Counselor Hayward, Counselor McCarthy. Is so moved, and second was Counselor Hayward. It's just switch back and forth.
Yep.
Okay, just checking. Tally. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Okay, motion passes unanimously. Guess it's giddy up time, sir. Okay, resolution 2407, Agape House Storage Building Contract Award. Mr. Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, early in 2024, the city agreed to sponsor a community development block grant application on behalf of Agape House to build some additional storage capacity, trying to separate their food operations from some of the other materials that they receive and distribute through the community. That grant was awarded, and then in April of last year, Columbia Engineering Group was given the contract to design the project. And now we are here with a construction contract award request. We received a lot of bids. It was It was great. We really appreciate, it seems to be of late that there's a lot of contractor activity on our bids. The apparent low bidder is Banlin Construction, and we are recommending award of that at 1.213 million.
Okay. Council questions? Council Rome?
Just a question on the CDBG grant. How much money is left in the grant? And do we have, I guess, enough to be able to cover everything that the project has, or?
Now, we bid this with an alternative bid to try to see if we could get some extra, but the Agape House has a little bit of fundraising money that they're going to put in, and I think that potentially that we will be able to cover this. There's money we haven't spent on the design. We think we can cover this, yes.
A follow-up.
Yes.
That sounds, I like anything that involves collaboration, especially with community partners. I'd just be curious to know if we do go ahead and cover, how much that would be on our part from the city.
Yeah, if we do, that would come up in the next budget, because we wouldn't be spending all the money until after July. So it'll give us a chance to see if the contractor can, save some money or do some other things. So.
Thank you.
Other council questions? Public comment? Seeing none. Okay, council comments? Councilor Hayward?
I think this is great for Agape House for what they do for our community. They give so much back to our community, like fresh produce, helping people in need and everything. I think this would be a great thing to help Agape House give back more into the community like they do. They give so much already. They started here. I think this is a great expansion for them.
Any others? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 2407?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Second.
Been motion by Councilor Hayward, seconded by Councilor Meyer. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. All right. Next up, January 2026 Quarterly Investment Report.
Yeah, Mr. Palacios.
Sir.
Good evening. Thank you. Microphone difficulties. For you tonight, I have the quarterly investment report for December 31st, 2025. There we go. I was hoping it'd really mess up so I wouldn't have to say anything, but
Well, we know technology. We have some people down in our basement.
Lily's just that good, Let me see. There it goes. So included in the packet tonight is the investment report for December 31st, 2025. The new format provides a summary that provides the city's total investment on a quarterly basis. I won't go through each of the columns, but basically for the next slide, I have a summary of the activity for the quarter ended then. As of 12/31/2025, we had approximately $35.1 million held in investments between the local government investment pool of $25.1 million, with a remainder of right around $10 million in restricted corporate bonds and other investments. Of that investment held at 12/31, $6.8 million was approximately deposited into the LGIP fund representing property tax remittances for December and the Hermiston Urban Renewal Agency. The bulk of the investments held in the LGIP, a large portion of those, I should say, are for the continued drawdowns for the bond funds for the various general fund construction projects that we have, general building construction projects we have ongoing in the city. Interest earnings for the quarter ended December 31st, 2025 totaled 372,000. Our investments outside of the LGIP are held in the Fidelity account of that totaled about 125,000 in interest earnings for that quarter, and the remainder was about 247,000 respectively. The average interest earned for the quarter was 1.3%, but this just takes a picture of the 3 months, not over the lifetime of the investments. Those over the lifetime of the investments are approximately 5.2% for corporate earnings. As at the end of 12/31, LGIP pool account earnings were 4.2%. They've been trending down as the feds continue to cut interest rates on interest. So with that, I will take any questions.
Council questions? Seeing none. Public comment? Seeing none. Council comment? Councilor Burrow.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the report, Mr. Palacios. I just respectfully maybe ask if the next time, if there could be something that might be a little easier on the eyes or for me to follow along. I understand the summary, but just to kind of see a little bit more trends or just a little bit more information. I think I just had a little bit harder time just to follow with the descriptions, and I would do a little bit better visually if you had something to pair with that.
Like more graphics?
Please.
Sure.
Council okay with having Mr. Palacios do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other council comments? Okay, so you know, the deal with our investments is that we're kind of limited on the way that we do it. It's not like you know, Joe guy down the street, he can't invest on who and what and where and forever how much. We have a specific set of rules that we have to go by, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we have our own investment policy that follows state statute.
Okay. Just, you know, so that people don't think that we are, you know, we're just throwing money willy-nilly. We're actually, it's a very detailed process. And, you know, we can't invest on whoever we want. We have certain markets that we have to stay within. Okay. All right. Can I get a motion to accept the January 2026 quarterly financial report?
Motion to accept.
Second. Wait. And I'm going to give this, motion to accept by Councilor Hayward, seconded by Councilor Duran. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Wow. Burning through this. Committee reports. Have any committee reports? Councilor Hayward.
The Faith-Based Advisory Board met this last week. Stepping Stone was there to report. I am not going to spoil that. They're going to be coming and reporting to us here in March. She asked me not to spoil anything for you guys.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. Some of the I Love My City is coming up here in May 16th. Then also they have a planning dinner that's going to be February 19th at 6:30 at Living Faith Church. Then I'll top it with the way the food, back in November when they came and report to us in early December about trying to get food out to the community and everything. A lot of local churches stepped up. They have almost every day of the week covered where you can go and get food. One is on Fridays at Living Our Lady of Angels Catholic Church from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a kitchen-free community meal and stuff. The churches have stepped up and have one going around the city almost every day of the week. And I'm trying to get that list so I can report that back to us. I did advise them to reach out to the senior citizens to help and get the words over there so they can post the words for the community and everything. That's about it.
Okay. Any other committee reports? Councilor Roberts.
I have several since our last meeting. On the 28th, the library board met, reported that they have so far had a 20% increase in circulation, and also 12% change in ebooks. So overall, circulation is looking good. Surprisingly, the computer use was down about a third, but they're speculating that maybe people are coming in and using other devices, especially now that the library is fully open again. On that same tack, the volunteer hours are up because in the new library, or newly renovated library, I guess, the volunteers have stuff to do, and so they've seen a significant increase in volunteers working there. Budget's looking good. Probably the biggest thing that came out of that meeting was Mr. Rose is looking toward retirement, probably sometime later this year, a date to be set. But the strategic plan is expiring. It's a 3-year plan on the direction that the library is going to be going in the future. And so the talk was, does Mr. Rose take on putting together the new strategic plan, or should they wait for the new library manager? The committee decided that it's better for Mr. Rose to take on that project. When the new manager comes in, they can hand that plan off to whoever's incoming, rather than waiting for somebody to get their feet under them and then come up with a new plan. So that is the library report. On the 4th, I attended the airport advisory meeting. We did not have a quorum, but we did get an update that the budget is on track for this time of year. Fuel sales continue to be down a little bit, but that's expected for this time of year, just less flying with some of the weather. However, exciting, the new hangars are filling up fast. I think probably, hopefully by the next report, all of the hangars should be full. So that's exciting. And then a fun fact that Mr. Anderson shared, for the Super Bowl, regardless of which side you were on in terms of the outcome of the game, I found this interesting that the neighboring airports around charge parking fees, and it was about $18,000 to park a business-sized jet, just to park the jet. So the fees from a small single prop plane to a large jet range anywhere between like $3,500 up to some of them were up in the $30,000 range just to park the thing. So a fun factoid. And then finally, as the mayor said, we just came out of public infrastructure. I will hit a few of my highlights and feel free to chime in if I miss something, but we talked about the backflow prevention program. That's going to be probably a significant thing that's going to come before the council here soon. The Oregon Health Authority is pressuring us to get our compliance up, and there may be some changes to code that are needed, and so city staff will be bringing that forth to talk about how we're going to get our compliance up and what that means in terms of costs. Same thing for the pre-treatment, industrial pre-treatment. Might need some additional code changes there. We got an update on our fats, oils, and grease program. 1 year in, we've got some pretty good compliance happening, but we do have several that are not in compliance, and so starting around May 1st, they're going to start, if it comes down to it, looking toward enforcement to get people to voluntarily comply. But I seemed to get a good sense from city staff that we're happy in the direction that that program is trending. And then the sewer treatment plant will be transitioning from chlorine to UV to finish treating some of the water coming out. There's high chlorine, not residue, but byproducts, thank you, that are trending in the wrong direction for us, and UV will change that so that we're not out of compliance with our levels of chlorine. And so they'll be coming to the council with some costs associated with that transition as well. So that is my report. Thank you, sir.
You wanna continue on, or you want? No. Okay, so we had additional talks about that. We talked about how where the aquifer storage reservoir is, they're basically done with stage 1, building built over the top of it. We're going to start pouring water down it here before too very long, which will build the bubble, as it's referred to, underneath, so that later on when we're ready to start pulling water back out of it for the customers, it'll be ready to go. Talked a little bit also about the discharge from the cooling from some of our customers. Gear and Harper is going out to bid. Yay. Still working on some parts of the Getman Road extension. One of the big things coming up in the near future is the Orchard Avenue water main redo. That's going to be from 7th Street to 11th Street. A lot of changes going to be happening there. Going to be a lot of work, a lot of dirt being moved, a lot of pavement being replaced, and some sidewalks installed. So that stretch of city will be a little bit safer once the sidewalk portion of things has been fixed. And that was the basics of the public infrastructure. Any others? Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry, I was pondering right now the streets and how that was going to look like for the next time. I was getting myself confused with Hermiston Avenue was the one that we recently did. I do have an update from EOTech. Mr. Kelso and I both attended the EOTech committee meeting, and there was a couple of updates. So please, Mr. Kelso or Mr. Smith, if I miss anything, please let me know. We let off with a heroes update from Mr. Swanson. I think the big news that kind of came out of that was that Hermiston Lacrosse is going independent. They were a part of a conference and were able to be a part of that conference and play with a lot of teams within that conference. But the pro of going independent is they can now host their own tournaments. By being a part of the conference, they were kind of tied down to certain dates and timeframes that they were able to do certain things. And so by going independent, now we can kind of schedule our own tournaments and hopefully be able to schedule more tournaments here at home to bring more people in. So that was the big update from Heroes. They're going to continue working and trying to complete the project, continuing to work with Parks and Rec to try to see if we can land the grant this year versus last year where we weren't successful. So that's looking up. As far as operations update, we had an operations and kind of a financial update, but these kind of came together because we had some discussion and brought up that we need an update to the master plan. As I'm sure the council's already aware, we just approved 2 RV parks going in there, which was kind of completely different from what the master plan had a couple of years ago. I guess I shouldn't say completely different, but now it opens up some more space, some more real estate in what we already kind of had allocated. So we are going to look at that here in the near future. I think it's either going to be our next meeting or the meeting after that, but we're looking forward to that. We also welcomed a new member to our EOTech committee from the hoteliers. As we know, we've had members of the hoteliers come before the council asking for a voice to participate in the process. And so they now have filled in their seat that they have at EOTech, and Miss Holly from Oxford Suites is representing. And she's come in, she's had some pretty good questions. And I think that's kind of how we started talking a little bit more about the master plan. And so look forward to kind of updating the whole entire committee with what EOTech is going to look like in the next few years. We also had a discussion on water rights update. And so we're still continuing to move on that, working with IRZ and trying to see a path forward and trying to secure some long-term rights. With the property acquisition that we've done as a city with the airport, we do have a little bit more water rights, but trying to find long-term water rights is still what we're working on. We did have an update on the RV park that was presented before the EOTech committee. And so it's everything kind of that we've already kind of seen as a council. The only thing that I noticed when we were doing the presentation is it looks like they're going to pave the northern part of where EOTech is at. I think they had like a roadway that they would use. I think it's primarily more for the function of our EOTech management team, but they're going to pave that as a result of already paving the event RV park that's going to go in the north, the upper right, upper east, yes, upper east. And with that, that's what we got. We had a quorum. We had a good conversation. We were able to move forward on a lot of things, and I think we're just going to kind of hit a restart and kind of be able to really see what we have to work with in the near future for a master plan, and so that way everybody understands with our new members that we have on our EOTech meeting, our EOTech team. So that's what I got.
Any others? I'll report on the vacancy review. We've had several folks that have signed up for some of our different committees, and some are on the approved list and some are, so they'll be coming to you soon. So, yes, sir.
Sorry, Mayor, I forgot one last thing. There's also a widening of the road that's going to happen. So the road that leads to EOTech, the road where you turn into EOTech, if you were to continue down that road, which I don't really go down that road, but I guess that road's going to be widened out where the new property acquisition is going to be at. So that should allow for more flow of traffic back and forth. I wish I had a visual to show you, but there's going to be a road that's going to be widened too as a result.
Something tells me that we'll probably see a lot of that in the near future, so. Okay, any other committee reports?
Park and Rec's on Thursday.
Okay, Parks and Rec coming to you live on Thursday. All right, mayor's report. Let's see, last couple of weeks, had a meeting with the assisted Mr. Smith and folks from Parks with a meeting with the senior center. Had a very, very productive conversation with those folks. I think we're gonna see some actually good come out of that. And so we presented them with the new, an updated contract, and they are looking it over for, to see how it affects them, and, any changes. There's a little give and take given there. And so I think we're all gonna be real happy with the final result. Don't have a lot else other than say the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. It might have been loud at my house, but it wasn't me. But anyway, Council President report.
Thank you. Just wanted to remind everyone, I know it brought up the last meeting, but the chamber again has their speed networking luncheon event on the 18th, which is a Wednesday at 11 a.m. At the community center. So be sure to talk to them about getting set up for that. And then also, I don't see a member of our Youth Advisory Council here, so I'll take a moment to say that on the 20th, and then again on the weekend of the 27th, the Hermiston High School will be performing Grease. On Sundays, on Saturday, I believe it's at 7, and then on Sundays, they have a show at 2 and 7. They did a lot of work to put in a custom fiberglass Grease Lightning car, which apparently they're going to be renting out to other productions of the musical Grease as well as they perform that.
It's Friday night, the 7, and then Saturday, 2 and 7.
Right, perfect.
Not Sunday.
Not Sunday.
And I can't remember the name of the person who, yes, it's something Pope.
Roger Pope.
Roger Pope, right, perfect.
Colleague.
There we go. So be sure to check that out.
Great, thanks, Roger. Okay, council reports. Anyone? Council Roberts.
Two quick things. On the 4th, I had the opportunity to attend the Board of Commissioners meeting, and there were several awards to a number of our dispatchers. So just want to take a minute to say, take a look at that meeting if you get a chance, and you can hear the wonderful things, because it's a long list of things that they've accomplished, but just a reminder of what our dispatch center does for our community and that they're working hard for us. And then additionally, last week I was able to attend the DPSST graduation of some of our local police officers. So congratulations for Officer Cody Sherman and Natalie Casares for Hermiston PD for completing their basic training and then coming back for field training. And also Deputy Lance Barfus with the Sheriff's Office. So we've got some new faces going to be patrolling our community.
Sir, any others? Councilor Hayward.
Me and Kelso went to the Hermiston Education Fundraiser dinner. That was this last Saturday. It's raise for students, scholarships for students that apply for it. And they actually added quite a bit. I couldn't remember off the top of my head how many they added this year more and stuff. It was a thing that I didn't know was going on and was invited to it.
Someone down here.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Councilor Jerome?
So I went to the League of Cities Board meeting on January 30th, and it was a very productive meeting. I don't know how much you would like me to share, but they talked about a survey where that went out to find out how members felt about services, core services survey, and 70% participated, and they said that they're not able to attend like small cities programs because of capacity constraints, lack of awareness, and don't know how to participate. So what that survey also indicated is that they would rather have like 1 to 2 hour virtual trainings in the morning on land use, budgeting, and other training topics. And they also said that there are going to be 264 measures that they will be looking at during this legislative session. And so they're going to be busy looking over that information, like House Bill 4138, House Bill 4001, Senate Bill 1586, the Jobs Act, House Bill 4084, Governor Kotek's Prosperity Roadmap Package, House Bill 4005, the Water Professional Appreciation Week, Water Professional Appreciation Week, and Senate Bill 1585, which reduces the grant matching requirements for small cities, Senate Bill 1526, the Fund for Oregon Resilience Growth and Energy Act, or FORGE, to expand energy infrastructure, and House Bill 4015 is currently a placeholder. And so there was some discussion about the transportation package, but obviously there's a lot that is riding on that transportation package. So of course, that was the 30th, and I'm sure that there will be a lot more information coming our way, but I did miss the update that is provided to us on Fridays. I don't know if any one of you sat in on that, when they give the legislative updates on Fridays. I missed it, but anyway, we had a lot of discussion about that, and they're also planning is already underway for the spring conference that will be held here in Pendleton, and hopefully some of us will be able to attend.
Okay. Any others? Mr. Kelso?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I wanted to start off by giving some kudos to our new code enforcement officer. I've had several discussions with citizens in our town, and they have nothing but good things to say about what our new code enforcement person is doing in that role. So it's a night and day difference, and I just want to give the city some kudos. That was a good hire, and apparently the gentleman is doing a fine job. So thank you. Additionally, I don't know if we've received any applications for the Hermiston Advisory or the Hispanic Advisory Committee, but if we have not, I would encourage anybody who's interested in serving their community to join that committee. It's a great community. It's a great opportunity to speak and represent the Hispanic population. I happen to be a board or a council representative with Councilor Derone, and it's probably, no offense to the EOTech committee, which is super exciting, but it's probably my favorite committee to sit on, if I'm being honest. So yeah, please consider serving on that committee if you're a member of our community. On Monday, which is President's Day at 8 a.m., the Good Shepherd Health Foundation and the Hermiston Kiwanis will be putting out flags on Main Street, and we'll meet at 8 o'clock in the morning in front of Hermiston Drug if you're interested in participating. That's always a fun and patriotic event, so come on out and join us. And finally, the Hermiston Amateur Radio Club held its annual Winter Field Day exercise at EOTech, and the city was kind enough to give us the use of that facility, part of it for our annual exercise, in which we try and contact as many people around the world as possible. And we had contacts in Europe again this year, and kind of all around the world. So it was very exciting and a very good opportunity. And I just want to say that it behooves the city, and I think the city knows this, to build relationships with people who can help in emergency situations. And the Hermiston Amateur Radio Club is a group that stands ready to do that should we lose other communication means. So I just wanted to say thank you to the city for allowing the use of EOTech, and it was a great event.
Excellent. Any others? Mr. City Manager.
Yeah, so, Counselor Brown, it's Carrie Schaefer is the hotelier's representative, sorry. Just a few items. The Charter Review Committee held a meeting recently, and part of the resolution that you adopted creating that committee gave them a charge to hold kind of a town hall type event. That's going to be March 4th at 5:30. So we've already have a kind of a marketing plan to try to get the word out as much as we can related to that. So there will be some social media posts. We're created a web page on the website to carry that information, and so encourage people to take a look at what they're proposing, and then potentially at the end of that meeting, they would make a recommendation to the council, and then the council would take the next steps after that if the council wanted to proceed. Let's see. Yeah, I would remind you about the legislative call from LOC on Fridays at noon. If you don't have a link to that, we can get you that. You should have received an email, I think, with that link at one point. And that is all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything? Seeing none, we are adjourned.